The reason 2026 already feels like it's slipping through your fingers has nothing to do with your goals, your habits, or your morning routine. It has everything to do with the one thing you refuse to look at. You woke up this morning and grabbed your phone before your eyes fully opened. You scrolled through notifications that didn't matter, checked messages from people who weren't even thinking about you, and within 90 seconds, your peace was already gone. You sat on the edge of your bed and felt it again, that quiet heaviness in your chest, that sense that you're falling behind something you can't even name. You poured your coffee, opened your laptop, and performed the version of yourself that the world expects. Productive, busy, fine. But underneath all of that, there's a voice, and it says the same thing every single day. This isn't the life I was supposed to be living. Here's what nobody tells you about that feeling. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you're living at war with your own nature. You know exactly what you should be doing. You've known for months, maybe years. But there's a gap between knowing and doing. And that gap is where your confidence goes to die. You read the books. You saved the quotes. You even set the alarms. But every night you go to bed having negotiated with yourself again, having traded another day for comfort, for distraction, for the easy path. And the worst part isn't the wasted time. It's the self-trust you lose with every broken promise. Because every time you tell yourself you'll start Monday, you're quietly teaching yourself that your own word means nothing. 2,000 years ago, a man who ruled the most powerful empire on earth sat down by candlelight and wrote words that were never meant to be published. Marcus Aurelius didn't write Meditations for fame. He wrote it to survive his own mind. And one of the things he wrote cuts through every excuse you've ever made. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That wasn't motivation. That was a man reminding himself that the resistance he felt wasn't a wall, it was the actual path. And that brings us to the first rule that will reshape how you move through 2026. But before I give it to you, I need you to understand something that will reframe every rule that follows. There's a reason most people will abandon their goals by March, and it has nothing to do with willpower. Rule 1. Stop building a life around feeling ready. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a lie your brain invented to keep you safe. Epictetus, a man who was born into slavery and became one of the most influential philosophers in history, said it plainly. It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. You're not afraid of the thing itself. You're afraid of the story you've told yourself about the thing. The presentation isn't terrifying. Your belief that you'll fail is terrifying. The conversation isn't hard. Your assumption about the outcome is hard. In 2026, the people who win won't be the ones who felt confident. They'll be the ones who acted before confidence showed up. Rule 2. Protect your attention like it's your last resource, because it is. Every hour you spend doom scrolling, refreshing feeds, watching someone else's life unfold on a screen, that's an hour subtracted from the person you could become. Seneca warned us about this centuries ago. He said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it." You're not running out of time. You're bleeding it out through 1,000 tiny distractions, and the wound is so small, you don't even notice it's killing you. Rule 3. Build your identity around what you do in silence, not what you post, not what you announce, not what you plan to do. The gym session nobody sees, the book you read at midnight, the apology you made that. Marcus Aurelius wrote, Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That line should end every internal debate you've ever had. Stop theorizing about the person you want to be. Become that person in the rooms where no one is watching. Rule 4. Master the art of doing nothing when your emotions demand everything. This is the rule most people break the fastest. Something triggers you, a disrespectful comment, a rejection, a betrayal, and your body wants to react instantly. But the Stoics understood something that modern psychology is only now catching up to. The space between stimulus and response is where your entire character lives. Epictetus taught, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. And in 2026, where outrage is currency and reaction is entertainment, the quietest person in the room holds the most power. Rule 5. Accept that comfort is the most dangerous addiction of your generation. It doesn't look like addiction. It looks like a reasonable life, a stable job, familiar routines, the same circle of friends saying the same things year after year. But growth never lives inside comfort. It lives at the exact edge of what scares you. And every time you choose the safe option because it's easier, you're not protecting yourself. You're shrinking. Rule 6. Redefine discipline as a form of self-respect. You don't need more motivation. Motivation is a guest that shows up when it feels like it and leaves the moment things get hard. Discipline is the quiet agreement you make with yourself that says, I will do this because I said I would. Not because I feel like it. Not because it's easy. Because my word to myself is the only currency that actually compounds. Rule 7. Let go of the people you've outgrown without making them the enemy. This might be the hardest rule on this list, because it's not about cutting people off with some dramatic speech. It's about recognizing, honestly, that some people belong to a version of you that no longer exists. Seneca wrote, associate with people who are likely to improve you. That's not cruelty, that's survival. You cannot rise while anchoring yourself to people who are comfortable where they are. Rule 8. Stop treating your future self like a stranger. Every decision you make today is a deposit or a withdrawal from the life of someone you will become. That person will either thank you or resent you. When you skip the workout, when you stay in the relationship that drains you, when you numb yourself instead of feeling the pain, you're not avoiding discomfort. You're transferring it forward with interest. Rule 9, and this is the one that holds all the others together. Remember that you are going to die. Not eventually. Not in some abstract philosophical sense. You, the person hearing this right now, will one day take a final breath, and every single thing you worried about, hesitated over, or postponed will become permanently irrelevant. Marcus Aurelius returned to this truth constantly. He wrote, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. That's not morbid. That's the most freeing sentence ever written, because once you stop pretending you have unlimited time, you stop wasting the time you actually have. Here's the truth nobody packages into a 10-second clip. The version of you that could make 2026 extraordinary already exists. It's not hidden behind a course, a mentor, or a perfect plan. It's buried under every excuse, every distraction, every comfortable lie you've been telling yourself. And it's waiting. Not patiently, not forever. But right now, it's still waiting. So the question isn't whether you can change. The question is whether you'll keep choosing not to. If this reached something real inside you, subscribe. Leave a comment with the one rule that hit you the hardest. Not for the algorithm, for you. Because the act of naming what challenged you is the first step toward no longer running from it.